Good afternoon, good evening. It's the John Gaunt podcast. Rachel Reeves. I'm still saying she has to go. What do you say? Get in touch. Let's get talking. Remember the famous quote from Keir Starmer? Lawmakers. Easy to make that mistake. Lawmakers can't be law breakers. That's when he was putting the boot into the, I get the parties mixed up, into the Tories, into Boris Gate and the rest of it. Rachel has broken the law. Forget all this nonsense that's breaking now about the estate agent saying they forgot to do it. It relies on you. That's no defense when you go to court. If it was to go to court, the book stops with her. But of course, with Labour, the book never stops with them. Whatever subject it is, it's never their fault. So she ain't going to just fess up, is she? So tonight, I admit in the last hour or so, the story has slightly changed. And just in case you're joining us, let me tell you what's happened. The estate agent have produced letters, and so's her husband, letters from him to them, where the estate agent said they would sort out this agreement, right? Evidently, according to the estate agent, the man who wrote this letter for the estate agent left the job 2 days later, and it was inadvertently forgotten about. Now, that doesn't quite work for me. Does it work for you? And if that was the case, why wasn't this revealed to Keir Starmer's man last night? Last night, there was a mad panic at 11 o'clock at night at 10 and 11 Downing Street. They wanted to kill this story off that the Daily Mail had. The inspector looked at everything and said, according to Starmer, everything's okay. She apologised. He accepted the apology. You've probably seen the exchange of letters. That was meant to be done and dusted. But then people started asking questions, legitimate questions. I had a very, very experienced estate agent stroke surveyor who told me, John, it's her responsibility and her husband's responsibility. Something doesn't ring true. And I'm sure I wasn't the only person who was told these things. So then people started to ask more questions. And today, the whole story kind of fell apart, didn't it? The bottom line is, 2 weeks ago in Leeds, they introduced this same rule. She was on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, and she was promoting the scheme. But then she said, in her defence to Starmer last night, I didn't know about the scheme. Well, call me old-fashioned, that doesn't quite add up to me. Does it add up to you? It's bullshit. And wouldn't the old man last night, wouldn't she have said, look, did we do this or didn't we do it? Because let's just take her at face value. She didn't know what it was. So wouldn't she then say to her old man, do you know anything about this? And then wouldn't he have said, yeah, the estate agents dealt with it. I've sent him a letter. Well, these letters weren't produced last night to the man who was investigating it, Magnus or whatever his name is. They were only produced this evening at about 4:30. We're meant to believe that he only just found them. This is all nonsense. Well, why didn't the estate agent speak out earlier? And as I say, all of it is fluff and it's all nonsense, because in the end, it's the person or the people who own the property who are legally responsible. Now, for those of you, and I've had quite a few people to say, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. No, I'm not. Because to get this piece of paper, then all the other things have to be in place. The gas safety certificate, the electricity safety certificate, etc., etc. It's to make sure that we can't go back to a time, although we live in times like this already. I've lived in a house like it, where people rent you a house that isn't fit for habitation. That's what it's meant to stop. So yes, it is bloody important. And if you're the Chancellor of the Exchequer, it's very, very important. We'll have to wait and see what develops tonight in terms of whether this was all complete lies. But I'm saying there's one thing that's irrefutable. When you go to a court of law, it's like the taxman. You cannot go to the taxman and say, I didn't know. Ignorance is no defense with the HMRC. Let me tell you, it is absolutely no defense. And then on top of all this, of course, let's have the bigger picture. She's the flipping chancellor. If she can't organise with her husband, who's got some kind of poxy job in the Labour government as well, writing speeches, if they can't organise their own domestic financial situation, why are we letting her run the flipping economy? She's going to put up taxes for all of us in 3 or 4 weeks' time. Let me tell you, she's having to put the taxes up because she bullshitted about there's a £28 billion black hole, and then gave a load of money to their mates in the teachers' union and the public service union. I think they deserve the money on one level, but nothing was thought out. It was sixth form politics. And then also, another thing, didn't Starmer promise us change? Didn't he say it was going to be different? There was going to be no sleaze. Didn't Rishi Sunak get dropped right in the shit because he had a piece of cake with Boris Johnson? Because he was early for a meeting. Come on, let's get this in perspective. The fact that these letters have come out tonight have made me even angrier about the whole situation. I don't know about you, because let's look, and that's why I say she's got to go. I think, and let's also not forget something. She lied about what her job at the Bank of England was. She massaged her CV. Labour came to power promising change, but all we've seen is scandal, hypocrisy, and sleaze. And it started almost on day one. Do you remember suits you, sir? The lingerie for the missus, the dresses, the suits, the £2,500 glasses. Why was the Sun revising at Lord Ali's £18 million penthouse flat in Covent Garden after his A-levels had finished? None of it added up. If there was no problem, why did Starmer give back his Taylor Swift tickets? Why did most of the cabinet, all grown-ups, of course, the grown-ups are in charge, why did they all want tickets for Taylor Swift? What is wrong with them? Grow up, you Burks. Oasis tickets, maybe I could see it, but I couldn't see it for Taylor Swift. And it's emerged over the last few months, all of them were getting tickets. I sometimes wonder how Taylor Swift made any fucking money. Everybody was on a freebie. And then, of course, let's remember somebody else. Do you remember pink hair, purple hair, Louise Haigh? She was the transport minister or something. She got in trouble because in her previous job, she had a mobile phone. She told the police her mobile phone had been nicked. It happens to all of us. It's horrible, right? But then a few months later, she found it again. So she started using it. This was her work mobi. As a result of all this, there was a bit of a... And she got the sack. She got the sack because she couldn't really explain how come she'd got the phone. I mean, I don't know what happened. I haven't got a clue. Have you? Anyway, she had to go. She went. And then, of course, just recently, we've had the anti-corruption minister. She's up on corruption charges in Pakistan, isn't she? Or some godforsaken shithole like that. And then, Angela Rayner. We had her and the problems that she got into with property in a penthouse flat, thousands, but hundreds of miles away from her constituency. It all just rings a bit like it's... Oh, and then there's tickets for Highbury. Not Highbury. Tickets for the Arsenal, the Emirates. It all just kind of reeks of one rule for them and another for us. I don't like it. So what do you make of the situation? Rachel Reeves, Keir Starmer, the Labour Party. It's Politics Live. It's UK politics. It's Gaunty. It's me. I'm here for another half an hour. Let's discuss it. Oh, and by the way, thank you for everybody who donated money last night. You are fantastic. And if you want to do it tonight as well, let's keep it going. We're on a roll. But in your opinion, is she cleared by these letters that they've suddenly found? I've got to say, I don't think so. I think the whole thing stinks. I also nearly didn't do a show because my voice keeps going. So please bear with me and I'll do the best I can. So how can a lawmaker be a lawbreaker? Because regardless of anything, Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, has broken the law. She helped to write the rules, but she broke them. Keir Starmer promised us change, and that's all we'll have in our pocket after the budget, a few pennies, but all we've got is sleaze, scandal, and pathetic excuses. Reeves in tears. Well, I don't think her tears will save her this time. Will he finally sack her or not? I guess he won't because he hasn't got a spine. It isn't a minor slip-up. It isn't like forgetting to put out the dustbin on a Tuesday night and getting a bollocking off your missus. I only say that because I do that every week. We're talking about the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the woman in charge of our finances. She broke a law she personally pushed just weeks ago. How could she? A couple of weeks ago when she was promoting it up in Leeds, wouldn't she have said to herself, did we ever get that sorted? I'll tell you a prime example of that. We didn't move the logbook for the car from the last address. And I remember saying to Lisa, I've got to get the car it was taxed or something like that. And we realised we hadn't done it. That was a mistake. Luckily, we didn't get done. We could have got done for that. But I'm not the Chancellor of the Exchequer. And it wasn't something like that could put other people's lives at risk. And that's what we're talking about. If you're a landlord, you've got responsibilities. And then I wouldn't mind, as my surveyor mate told me, they're always having to go at landlords, making out that they're unscrupulous and they're ruthless and they're this and they're that, when what they are is people who are providing accommodation for people. So she should follow the rules, just like she'd have come down on all the other people. So from Starmer's Savile Row suits to Taylor Swift tickets to Louise Haigh's missing Moby and Angela Rayner's resignation, we're living in a farce. Well, it's not a farce. It's a tragicomedy because they're wrecking our country. She has broken the very financial disclosure law that she promoted herself. Don't let the BBC and them waving around this letter and saying, look, here's the letters. Because last night, a decision was made by Keir Starmer and his guy who's in charge of ethics. That's ethics, not Essex. Well, they cocked up Essex as well, haven't they? But ethics. Did he not ask for the paperwork last night? Did they not think, last night, shit, yeah. The estate agent said they were going to do that. You see, this idea that their defence is ignorance, well, if it's ignorance, then they're not crooked, they're thick. Well, if you're thick, you shouldn't be the Chancellor of the Exchequer. She is unfit for public office. She should be sacked, and so should Starmer. I mean, the whole it is corrupt, inefficient, chaotic, a complete nonsense. That's the Labour government that we've got. Are you with me or against me? That's enough of me. Let's have your comments now. There's loads of them for me to read out. Let's get the discussion going. 21 likes. That's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. If you like what I do, I'm going to keep coughing. I do apologise. If you like what I do, please donate. It's simple to do. Click the little $sign on the YouTube video and donate whatever you fancy or whatever you can afford, or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Right, let's go. So the main question is, should she stay or should she go? And this is on top, of course, of the fact that Starmer, have you noticed, he still hasn't said anything about the brutal, savage murder of that dustbin man walking his dog. He hasn't said anything. Not a dicky bird. When a mosque got attacked, he had a big, long speech about it, right? That was after the synagogue attack. No one died in the mosque attack. And then he promised another, and he went with Shabana Mahmood, who again has said nothing about the savage murder in the street of the man walking his dog, Wayne. She said nothing as well, but both of them went to that mosque in Peacehaven, and then they offered £10 million to beef up security for mosques. I rest my case. So that's the lousy government we've got at the moment. And meanwhile, they're still coming in by their thousands. Now he's going to put them in army camps. He's not even going to lock the gates. They can come and go. So it's going to cause mayhem all over the country. They want to disperse these people, these flip-flop warriors all over the United Kingdom. And they want to play Russian roulette with your lives, but particularly your wives, your daughters, your sisters, your mums. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Hello, mate. I've got me pop de corn ready, says Pippo de Yoya. A wrongly released migrant sex offender who was paid 500 quid to leave. I wonder how much Sly News paid him for that interview. It shocked me to the core. It really did. Do you know what? I know they've got no viewers at the moment. And by the way, I was the person who came up with the term Sly News. I know Dan Wootton's nicked it, but it was me. When I used to work on The Sun. Yeah, they've hit a new low. They interviewed him after he abused a 14-year-old girl, after he'd been on the run. They thought that was newsworthy to interview him, and this is where the 500 quid story came from as well. They should hang their heads in shame. They're an absolute disgrace. But then so should our Home Office. If he wouldn't have got on the plane, if he'd caused any trouble, you should put a spit mask on him, put him in manacles, chuck him in the hold or chuck him at the back of economy. And we don't need 5 blokes looking after him. 2 will do. Don't have to necessarily be blokes. It could be women as well. In fact, a woman would probably upset him more. SAS trained. Any trouble, smack. Right? That's the way it's got to be. He's an illegal. And he assaulted a 14-year-old. Not only that, he's been treated like a hero by Sly News. Absolutely disgraceful. Dr. Adali Warsame. I used a letting agency wouldn't and won't absolve you of the requirement to have a landlord license. Well said, my friend. Nor of the breach of law which occurred. Yes, she committed a criminal act. Thousands of landlords to whom the law does seem to apply have been caught out and were prosecuted anyway in this way. You are bang on the money, my friend, on Twitter. That's exactly what my surveyor mate told me as well. He said people are up in arms about it. A lot of landlords are saying, I've had enough. It's too complicated to do this business anymore. Especially if it was an oversight. They made a mistake. Is she not going to get done? No, she's not. Look at that miserable cow crying. Yeah, this is probably what the crying was about. Waterworks don't work with me. If we want equality, we've got equality. If she can do the job and she's a woman, brilliant. Maggie Thatcher could do the job. There's lots of women who can do the job. She can't. She's pathetic. Pathetic. Sacker. Where are we going next? Craig Lemon. She knows the rules. She should be gone. I agree. The Saxon 2266 says she should go to jail. I don't know whether I'd go that far, but I mean, she certainly should be punished for what she's done. Because you've got to ask, did she have the gas safety certificate? Did she have the electric certificate? How would she know? Because if you believe that email exchange, her husband said, yeah, go on, then on you go. Well, wouldn't you have then, when you got the tenant, because at that point they didn't have the tenant, this is all about a year ago, isn't it? They've been in power 14 miserable long months, right? So she's been living in Downing Street since then. Wouldn't you have checked? Well, you would. I mean, maybe if you're me, you wouldn't, because I'm a bit lazy and useless. But if you were the kind of one of the top people in government and you had all these other scandals, wouldn't you have checked? But you see, this is the whole thing with Starmer's mob. They think they're above it. Look at Mandelson. Would you have appointed the nonce's mate on his track record before, regardless of what happened afterwards? You wouldn't have him, would you? But they put him in that position in Washington. It's an arrogance. That's what it is. It's an absolute arrogance. Perry Costello on Facebook says she and the specky twat should go the same way as Mussolini, hoisted by the people upside down on a lamppost. Thank you, Perry, for that liberal view, but I understand the anger. I know where you're coming from. We've already said goodbye. Go Now by the Moody Blues, says Neil Pye 6089. Nice one. Good song as well. Thank you, my friend. She's got to go. But she won't. She's going to survive because he's scared stiff of getting rid of her. But we need to ask questions about his judgment. He had top-level meetings late at night last night to save her. But without all the evidence, because the evidence, and this is why I love it, it's a bit like Watergate. It's always the cover-up that catches them out. So today she's produced, or the husband has produced the emails. I'm sure they're genuine. And they're redacted bits, which is fine. And that's meant to be, now we're in the clear. Well, not really, because you were meant to have been cleared last night. Starmer said an apology's okay. That's enough. On you go. Carry on wrecking the fucking economy. Or I'm sure he'd put it in more political terms than that. But on you go, Rachel. Keep wrecking the economy. See how many more jobs you can lose for us this week. They're pathetic. They are militants from Viz. They are the sixth formers standing outside Woolies in the 70s when I was a kid buying me broken biscuits with my mum, the geography teachers from our local schools selling the socialist worker, selling a revolution. Jokers. Starmer chameleon fought the election on change, says Craig Urquhart. I didn't know that meant we'll be left with loose change. Nice line, better than the one I used earlier. Well done, Craig. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, my friend. Labour are a complete and utter farce. They're a circus, says Tony Kenny. You are right. Maggie Young, one of my regulars, she says, I'm voting for the monster raving lunatic party next. They're more sensible than Labour. That's absolutely... Are they still around? But you're absolutely right. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke what is going on. But it's not really funny, is it? Because they're wrecking our country. We were talking about this yesterday, last night or whatever, the night before. They're giving away our country to the flip-flop warriors. They're doing nothing to stop them coming because Starmer, he won't go against his beloved Human Rights Act. Look at the way Nigel Farage, whether you like him or not, he had a 10-minute section in the Commons yesterday, which all MPs can apply for. And he has a chance to put forward a view and a proposal. Did you see the two dopey women from the Lib Dems behind him? Barracking him, raising their eyebrows to the camera, upstaging him. That's not right, is it? It's just not right. If you believe in parliamentary democracy, and I almost still do, you've got to give him an opportunity like everybody else. But you see, the fascist left don't like that. The Be Kind mob, they don't want anybody with a different view of the world, or the majority of the view of the world, to be able to express it. That's why they hate Trump so much. Trump brings peace. Trump is still a monster. It's just pathetic. And we need a political leader like Trump who's going to say, I've got the people with me, up yours. ECHR. Right. Get rid of everyone. Everybody out of the hotels by Monday. No more squeezy soap. You're going intense. If you don't like it, you can certainly go home. What, you don't know where you're from? Don't worry. We'll send you to Ascension Island and we're going to process you there. But you ain't staying in this country. You commit any crime while you're here, while we're assessing whether you can stay. That's it. Barred for life. I've been in nightclubs. I've run bloody nightclubs that have got stronger door rules than we've got on our borders. Huh? Not tonight, mate. Your name's not on the list, right? Can you imagine it? Here, all you do is turn up in your flip-flops and you design a tracksuit, get out with your leather jacket on and your Moby phone, and you got hot and cold running benefits and NHS treatment. Anything you want, on you go. Starmer, stench politics, says John Minshall. Nice way of putting it. It's all corruption, John, says Pam Millett on Facebook. Hello, Pam. Nice to have you on board again tonight. Hi, John. Just discovered you. I'm only 64. Just discovered you. You are great. Thank you, Heidi. 7116 on YouTube. Now you found me. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. John Gaunt TV. Subscribe, and then you'll be told every time I'm doing one. And if you really like me that much, send an email to my missus. Her name's Lisa. Tell her that you think I'm wonderful. Yeah. She can't stand me, especially when I'm not pulling in the money, right? Only joking. Florence Gibb, just go, and your government. I agree with you. Pam Millett, she's out of trouble, John. Her lettings agency has claimed responsibility. Pam, pay attention, love. I know I'm as up on the news as you will ever be. I'm saying she is not out of trouble. It doesn't add up. If anything, that's put her in more trouble. Why didn't she disclose the emails last night? It isn't about her being in trouble. It's not like and the headmaster. The headmaster's as corrupt as she is. Starmer and her cooked this up last night, and now it's fallen apart. It's like all of their things they do. They're just idiots. So Pam, she's not out of trouble. Not if we keep the pressure on her neck. Nigel Gordon, if that was me or you, John, what would happen? Renting a property with no license, etc. Your feet wouldn't touch the ground, Nigel. Den Spink, she should resign if proven she did wrong. Well, it's proven she did wrong. Listen to the facts. It's her responsibility. She has not got this in place. Doesn't matter whether the estate agent said he was going to do it. She's done wrong. If she had any morals, any backbone, she'd resign. But she's just like the jellyfish that Starmer is. They've got into power. They ain't going to go. Did you see? Oh, have you seen, ladies and gents? Starmer's now saying he's going to do 10 years. He'll do fucking 10 years if I had my chance, I tell you. In somewhere like HM Woodhill or Pentonville. That's where he'd do it. But no, he's now saying I'm going to go on for 10 years. He believes it's wonderful. The fact that he's got the lowest ratings in political history doesn't come into it. He thinks he's lovely. If he was made of chocolate, he'd start eating himself, starting with his head. Hopefully. And that's before we think about all the scandals that are coming down the line. It's incredible. It's incredible. Warwick Milne, I loathe and detest this hypocritical woman, but I'm not concerned about this. That said, the sooner she's got rid of, the better. Well, Warwick, you're an idiot if you don't think this is concerning. It's absolutely concerning. It's vital. If you're going to rent out a house to somebody, make sure it's a fit and proper house. There's thousands, 10 to be precise, murders and rapes that haven't been processed yet. You're right. Thank you, Pam Millett. I'm working my little socks off here. No one's donated. Come on. Press that little dollar sign. Donate a couple of quid, donate a tenner, donate whatever you fancy. Let's keep independent broadcasting alive because you can't trust the BBC. You cannot trust them. They've been reporting this all day, not as she broke the law, that, you know, that it was just a technicality. No, she broke the law. So if you want to donate, feel free. If not, you can do it by www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. 49 likes, that's good. There's a fetid stench of corruption at the heart of this government, John. This is Musical Man Guitar on YouTube. Such governments end very badly indeed for everyone. They do sometimes, but other times they drag on and drag on and drag on and bring us all down. This is a brilliant country. I hate it when they say, oh, people like Gaunt and people like Farage are running the country. We're not running it down. We're pointing out where you're going wrong. I love my country, just like those boys and girls who are putting up the flags. And you'll hate me for saying this, just like Tommy Robinson. He loves his country, regardless of everything else. He certainly loves it more than you, Starmer. You love the ECHR. You love the European Court. You love being, I'm a European. I'd much rather be in Davos than in Westminster. You slime ball. Glassman 1975 YouTube. I was just saying to the wife, well, wake up soon and realise it's all a dream. Yeah. It's seriously unbelievable what's going on in this once great country of ours. We're fecked John. Thank you very much. I like that effect. Steve Palmer, what a top man. He's just, excuse me, donated £5. Thank you very much indeed, Steve. He's often donating. He's a top man. He says, Rachel Reeves, rules for thee, not for me. That sums it up, Steve. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you for your donation. Lisa Carvel, good Coventry girl. Watched a programme about Margaret Thatcher last night, John. What slimy politicians got her out of power? And none of them, and certainly none of the present ones, could hold a candle to her. You're absolutely right. Whether you liked her or not, she had the power of her convictions. But in those days, people did. Look, even the people like Arthur Scargill, Keith Joseph, from all different, the beast of Bolsover, people from all different perspectives, at least you knew what they believed. You haven't got a clue with this lot on all sides of the house before you start on me. Nigel Gordon, I'd pay Rachel Reeves £500 to F off, and I'd pay for a flight. Yeah, let's start. What do you call that? A go-to charity page for her. Let's get her out of the country. Play her Tears for Souvenirs, the Ken Dodd song. Do you remember that, John? Yeah, I do. I'm a massive Ken Dodd fan. Massive. He was a genius. And, of course, we love him because he did the tax man over, didn't he? Again, something that Starmer would never understand. The Labour Party campaign slogan was change. Oh, just on that, I'll just finish this. I didn't realise it meant changer. Changed the manifesto as soon as we got into power. Liars, the lot of them, says Jackie Ward. Good point, Jackie. Thank you. Can I ask you a question? I've been meaning to ask this the last few days. You know this art raid on the Louvre? Is that how you say it? You know where they got the Mona Lisa and all the artwork in London and in Paris. I've been. It's worth going to. Although I tell you what, when you go and have a look at the old Mona Lisa, it's really disappointing. It's really small. It's a really small paint. Anyway, I'm going off the point. But you know, the boys have broken in there and they've nicked all the French, basically, their crown jewels. Have you kind of got a bit of a begrudging respect for them? Is it a bit like the Great Bank Robbers? Is it a bit like, what's that great film? They filmed it in the sewers in Coventry. The Italian Job. I was quite disappointed when I heard last night they've arrested another 5 blokes. It's the kind of crime, I know I shouldn't really say this, but it's kind of romantic and you want them to get away with it. That's the end of my donations tonight. Then no, it's just a thought. I just wondered what you thought about it. I interviewed the copper who actually caught the great train robbers. And I've interviewed a few of them as well, Buster Edwards and people like that. Anyway, I'm off the point now, aren't I? Let's get back on the point. I do apologise. Lorraine Kenyon, she'll get away with it. Starmer wants to keep her. As he's lost his Angela. It's not a bad point, that. Zara Sultana was behind Farage as well. Just kept shaking her head. Yeah, Lisa, I saw her. MP for Coventry in the Gaza Strip. She's a disgrace, that woman. And she's getting paid. I find it amazing that she's got into Parliament almost on a false pretense, hasn't she? The Labour Party slogan before the election was changed. I've read that one. Richard Pope says flip-floppers are knocking on the door. Let them in. Yeah, I think you're right, my friend. Musical Man. She didn't disclose the emails last night because they hadn't written them yet. Oh, careful. I'm absolutely convinced they didn't write them today. That's a bit naughty because we can't tell. But I understand where you're coming from. Utter disgrace, this far left rubbish. You talking to me? Dan Reddington. He's a top man. Reddington's Rare Records. In Birmingham. Good friend of mine. Hello, Dan. Screaming Lord Dutch, you mean Such. He died in 1999, John. The Monster Raving Lunar Party. Yeah, that's right. I didn't know he'd passed away. That's a shame. But is the party still going, Dan? That's what I was asking. Somebody will tell me in a minute. Jackie Ward. I bought you a bottle of Night Nurse instead of a beer. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. I've got to tell you about Night Nurse. When I was in care, you know, my Auntie Rosemary, she was a matron in Hull, a proper matron, like when they used to run the hospitals. You know, when hospitals were efficient and they didn't have all that middle management scum. Well, she was a bit of a dragon. She was lovely with it, heart of gold. She came down and she rescued me from the children's home and said, "You can come and live with me, but you'll abide by my bloody rules." And I did, well, by and large, for a 13-year-old. Anyway, she put me on the straight and narrow. What was the point of this story? Oh, yeah. There were 2 things or 3 things she used to tell me. 1, you never wash mushrooms because you'll eat worse than that shit. This is what she used to say before you die. She said it gives them a bit of flavour. Never wash the mud off. Never, maybe wipe them, but you don't wash them. That's what she used to say. She was talking about the mushrooms. And the other thing, 2 things that she said was, oh God, I've not forgotten, have I? Come on, John, don't forget it. Don't forget it. You're not there yet. Don't forget it. The other thing she said to me about life, it's gone. This bloody cold's killing me. It was a word. It was a bit of wisdom that you could have taken with you tonight, and now I've forgot. Oh, that's what it was. She said, "Never stick a cotton bud, wait for it, in your ear. Wax is meant to be there. It'll drop out in a hot bath. Do not poke around in your ears." And then the other thing she said was, that's it. That's what prompted me. It was you, Jackie. Night nurse. She was against all kinds of drugs like night nurse and the cold and flu remedy that you take. Anything that dries up the nose, she was against it. Now, she was a top matron. She said, "You've got snot, you've got wax." And she said, "You wouldn't block up having the shits, would you? You want to get it out." That's how she used to talk. You should always have a fag on as well, right? She's right, isn't she? So I've never touched night nurse or any of those kind of things. And that's why I've been ill for 2 weeks. Just joking. God bless you, love. You saved my life. My advice to Starmer is resign now. He may take my advice because it's free and he loves a freebie. Yeah, well done, musical man. Very funny. She should go, but you all know she'll wiggle out of it. Of course she will. What's this one say? Absolutely, says Tony Whitfield. And my final one, Richard Pope says, "Danny Reddington, I used to listen to you on Ed Doolan's show on WM." He used to be on there a lot, yeah. His shop was brilliant. He had all the records you could, and he knows everybody in music in Birmingham. There's no one who knows more than Dan. He was a top man. He's a top man. He's still alive. Ed Doolan, of course. He's gone off to that great radio station in the sky, right? Ed Doolan. He was a legend. If you don't know who Ed Doolan is, he was an Aussie, but he became a Brummie because he was on the radio in Birmingham for so long, and he was absolutely brilliant. People used to ring him up and he'd help them out. There were two legends at that time on WM in the early days. There was Ed Doolan and there was Tony Butler. Tony Butler invented the football phoning. Don't let Danny Baker tell you it was him. It wasn't. It was Tony Butler. Jasper Carrott did a great sketch about him. There's a great moment when somebody rings up and they go, and he was a Brummie, Tony. And they ring up and they go, "Oh, Tony, what about the Villa?" And they go, "What about the Villa?" And put the phone down. He was just brilliant. Just brilliant. He's passed away as well. But Ed Doolan, I got a story for Ed Doolan for you if you're an Ed Doolan fan. Ed Doolan had been on the radio so long, right? And I'm sure he wanted to die on air, on the microphone. And there was a guy in Nottinghamshire called Derek somebody who was like his great rival in the East Midlands. I never heard his show. Doolan was a master. But anyway, and this guy died and they shut down Nottingham for the day to bury him effectively. He had a proper, almost like a state funeral. This is when local talk jocks mattered because people actually listened to the stations. And Doolan, he was talking to me one day about it, and it was so obvious that Doolan was so pissed off that this bloke had died before him. Then, unfortunately, of course, Ed succumbed to dementia, and it was so sad to see him go that way. I didn't like him all the time. In fact, sometimes he was a right twat. But actually, aren't the best people like that? Aren't the best people sometimes the people who you can't stand? And then other times you just think, or you look back and you reminisce and you think, yeah, brilliant, brilliant. One of the best stories about Doolan, I don't know if this one's true. Doolan's in the office just before he goes on air in Birmingham, in Pebble Mill is when it used to be there. Phone rings, he picks up the phone, goes, "Yeah, Doolan's phone." And this bloke goes, Ed, I'm on the 25th floor I've such and such a tower block. I'm going to end it. He said, what are you phoning me for now? He said, the show starts at 11. Phone me back on the phone-in number then and put the phone down on him, right? 1 minute past 11, the guy phones, Ed, I'm on the top of the 25th floor, the whatever. Next 3 hours, Ed Doolan speaks to him on the phone. Ed Doolan gets him to come down. Ed Doolan saves his life. That's radio. That's proper talk radio. And it doesn't even matter if the story's not 100% true. Just you go off and tell everyone about it. Right, here we go then. Maggie Young. What's the score tomorrow, John? I'm going 0-3. What, 3-0 to us? That's all right. Yeah, I think that's possible. Yeah. I said, what did I say last week? 3-0, and it was 3-1. So I wasn't far off. We'll win again. We can't lose. Thank you. Play up Sky Views, Maggie. I always listened to John Gaunt on the radio when I was out on the road years ago. It was like having a friend in the car. Why are you talking about me in the third person? I'm John Gaunt. I'm here. Look, here. It's me. Thanks, Alien Intelligence Agency. It's good of you. I'm meeting loads of people again by doing the podcast. People saying, I didn't realise you were doing this. Oh, that was it today. The Times newspaper, right? This is a good story. The Times newspaper, I was subscribed to it. But then somebody told me, you know what you do, John? Next time they want to renew it, tell them you don't want to pay it. So that's what I did ages ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I said, I can't afford it. So they said, well, what could you afford? So I got it for like peanuts. And I played the same trick again the following time. So now I get the Times. Don't tell anyone, but do it yourselves. £6.50. £6.50 a month, right? To read the Times. All of them, Sunday Times, the Culture Magazine, Jeremy Clarkson, the rest of it. Anyway, guy phones up today and he says, we can't offer you that again. I said, well, I don't want it then. Anyway, by the end of this conversation, I had it again. And then he said, what's your name? So I told him my name. And he said, I need to know what's your name on your card. So I'm not going to say this on there. So I told him the name on the card. I just He goes, are you the John Gaunt who used to be on Talk Radio? I said, thanks. That's done my ego good. But yes, I am. You were brilliant. I said, you don't have to talk about me as if I'm fucking dead. I'm still alive. He said, no, sorry, I didn't mean that. I said, why don't you listen to the podcast? I didn't know you were doing them. So if you're listening tonight, Mr. Times, man, you're a good bloke. You look after yourself. And if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them. Jackie Ward, 3 hearts. Richard Pope, absolute legend. I presume you're talking about Ed Doolan. And Den Spink says, great show, John. Now, if you thought it was a good show tonight, it's never too late to donate. I found out that you can donate on YouTube after the show as well, if you want. Quite a few people did that last night. So if you'd like to do that, please do. She was going to get that audit sheet out tomorrow. I'm sure she is. And if you want to buy me a coffee or a Lemsip, that's the other thing. The anti-rosemary, Lemsip, don't need Lemsip. Whiskey, hot water, and a paracetamol. That's what she used to say, right? Proper matron. Oh, dear me. Yeah. She saved me. She used to say to me, you're either going to be a multi-millionaire or in prison. So I've disappointed her because I'm neither. But anyway, I shall see you tomorrow night. Is tomorrow night? No. What day's today? Thursday. I will do one tomorrow. But probably not at 6:30. I don't know, because I'm obviously I want to watch Coventry in the evening. But also I'd like to go for a drink. So we'll see. It depends. I can't drink at the moment. Richard Pope, wish I'd listened to you on CWR in the early days. I was listening to Les Ross Breakfast Show on BRMB. Now there's another legend. Les Ross, great guy. Great guy. He went off the ball a bit towards the end, but man. Well, in his prime, brilliant. We've had some great presenters from the Midlands. Don't forget, Chris Tarrant started in the Midlands as well, didn't he? Anyway, I digress. Oh, Jim Garfield's there. Thank you, Jim. You donated the other day. You don't need to donate again today, but thank you. He sent me £2 on a super sticker. Thank you, Jim. Have a great night. Right, I've got to go. Thanks, everyone, for all your contributions. I still say she's got to go. Get on Twitter, get on Facebook, talk to me there if you want. Talk to me on YouTube. By the way, if you ever want to say something about the show, the best place is to go to John Gaunt TV on YouTube and find the video and then just write in the comments there, because then I'll definitely see it. And again, that helps the algorithm. And don't forget what I keep saying. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. It's completely and utterly free. It just boosts my numbers. And then you can see all my old videos and you'll have a laugh, because some of them are great. Some of them are. I think most of them are. But anyway, tonight's show was quite funny. Thank you for it. I'm sorry my voice is so bad. It'll be better by next week, but I'll probably see you tomorrow. I'll definitely see you Sunday afternoon. Until then, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, 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 don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya. Play up Sky Blues 3-1.